How do we change how some people in society think that you are supposed to stop taking care of yourself and go sit down after you reach a certain age? Can we change that mindset? I'm gonna lie, this is a very good question, because honestly, when people hit 18, they're like, bro, you're crippled, you're debilitated, you're done. You might as well pack it up. Age is subjective. I mean, it depends on how you've taken care of yourself and genetics and a wide variety of factors. Anyway, to answer the question, how do we change it? I would just say, like, having leaders that show people, okay, this is how you adopt a healthy lifestyle, mindset wise and health wise and socially, showing, hey, this is how you do it, this is how I do it, and you can take what's useful and discard what's not and apply it to your own life. So I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna take time. A lot of people are just really naive, and honestly, some people know that, okay, you should eat more, maybe whole grains or more fiber or more plant foods or whatever, and eat some more fatty fish instead of red meat all the time. You know, some people are just, I don't want to change it. Like, eating Hot Pockets 24/7 is too good, so I'm not gonna fold. Alright, y'all, so back and hearing that episode and to go podcasting today. Today's episode is answering your questions about health, because I don't know, I feel like a lot of people, like, in this climate of nutrition information, just social media in general, I think a lot of people have questions behind the scenes. So I asked a couple people, I asked the group chat I'm in with like a whole bunch of family members, and then also I posted a poll on Insta. So if y'all ever have any questions, if you don't want to DM me, I promise you I'm not Hollywood, I will reply. Like, even when I get bigger, I'm gonna reply. Like, don't worry, I'm not one of those dudes like, oh, I'm like, once I blow up, I'm gonna act like I don't know nobody. Like, no, I'm gonna reply, don't worry. Anyway, first question, let's get into the first question. How do we change? I ain't gonna lie, forewarning, this one's gonna take me a bit to read, but you know, it's a good question. How do we change how some people in society think that you are supposed to stop taking care of yourself and go sit down after you reach a certain age instead of living a healthy life? Can we change that mindset? I'm gonna lie, this is a very good question, because honestly, when people hit 18, they're like, bro, you're crippled, you're debilitated, you're done. You might as well pack it up. But in reality, you're really just getting started. Like, honestly, I wouldn't say you're quote unquote old. Honestly, age is subjective. I mean, it depends on how you've taken care of yourself and genetics and a wide variety of factors. Anyway, to answer the question, how do we change it? I would just say, like, having leaders that show people, okay, this is how you adopt a healthy lifestyle, like mindset wise and health wise and socially, you know what I'm saying? Just like for me, for example, and other people, a slew of people that are doing the same thing or something very similar, that are just showcasing, documenting what they're doing and showing, hey, this is how you do it, this is how I do it, and you can take what's useful and discard what's not and apply it to your own life. So I would say it's going to be really hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's going to take time, because a lot of people are just really naive, and honestly, some people know that, okay, you should eat more, maybe whole grains or more fiber or more plant foods or whatever, and eat some more fatty fish instead of red meat all the time. But you know, some people are just, I don't want to change it. Like, eating Hot Pockets 24/7 is too good, so I'm not gonna fold, you know what I'm saying? But I just think in today's day and age, I've seen a lot of people prioritize their health and wellness, but a lot of people like do it, like they'll eat steak and eggs on a cutting board, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that's what most people should be doing with hypertension and high blood pressure, because I think it's gonna exacerbate it. But I mean, I think it just starts with people documenting, people just putting the truth forward and kind of dispelling all the BS on the internet of just like confusion. So I would say, but I mean, the other part of it, which I think is really important, is go sit down after you reach a certain age. I just think that people think it's too late to start. Like, they're like, oh, I'm 40. I've been, I don't know, smoking cigarettes all my life and drinking soda all day, so I can't change my lifestyle and be healthier. That's not true. I mean, obviously, it might have been more beneficial for you to start earlier, but it's never too late. I don't think it's ever too late to start and, you know, reinvigorate yourself, I guess. So even if you're 40 and you want to start eating healthier, just, you know, I'm a good example. There's a slew of other people I mentioned that are a good example. You know, you can start implementing more whole foods, less ultra processed foods. You can start running or cycling, you know what I'm saying? You can just start somewhere and then build up to it. But yeah, I would say we can change that mindset. And I think I've noticed that I have for like some people that I interact with, and even a lot of other people that are like in comments like, oh, you changed my life and I look at food completely different now. But I would say, yeah. And I just think it's a weird stigma to see, because some people are like, oh, once I hit 30, bro, I'm old, I'm checking out. Like, you're just getting started. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there should be a limit on when you can be healthier and then better yourself. But to answer that question in simplest terms, yes, I think so, but it will take time, and we have to be more nuanced about it instead of, oh, no carbs, no meat, you're vegan, no healthy fats. You can't, like, you can't restrict people, because if you restrict them and you try and force them into a dogmatic space, they can't even outgrow and find something that works for them. It has to be more nuanced and more of a gray area where they're talking to the general public. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just say, oh, you can't eat this, you can't do this. Like, there's nuance in a lot of the health realm of things. But anyway, very good question, because I see that a lot of people like, oh, I'm 20, I'm unk. Dude, you're 20 years old, stop it. Anyway, second question to answer. Very good question. I really like that question at first. The first question. Second question, what's your favorite machine in the gym and why? And how many weight training sessions do you do weekly? I ain't gonna lie, I had to write this out because I wanted to be because I ain't gonna lie, I didn't want to answer on the spot because I might have blanked out. Anyway, my favorite machine in the gym as of now would have to be the cable machine. You know, like the cable machine, you can put like the how to say it, like the thing you use for tricep push down. You could put like a D handle, I think that's what you call it. I might be completely wrong. You could put anything on it really, so it's attachable. I would say that specifically in terms of exercises, she didn't ask me this, but in terms of exercises, I would have to say the kneeling single arm lat pull down on the cable, because I used to do the single arm lat pull down with the seat, like, you know what I'm saying, the adjustable seat. But I'm not gonna lie, it started to get very uncomfortable and I couldn't put my arm in like a straight angle. I'd have to lean like on the left side and do it. So it just got kind of annoying. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna kneel and do it. So I noticed like if I angle myself to the right, I'm like straight down. It's more of like a straight down angle, I guess. So that's my favorite one right now. I obviously had to drop the weight a bit since I'm kneeling. I'm not sitting down, but honestly it feels more comfortable. But anyway, I would say my favorite machine in the gym right now is the cable machine, but I would say a close second is probably the preacher curl. Not gonna lie, when I first, like, I would say around the first 2 years of me lifting or so, preacher curls felt kind of uncomfortable, but as I kept doing it, I got more used to it. So yeah, that's that. But anyway, I would say it's my favorite machine just because how versatile it is, because you can do single arm lateral raises, you could do lat pull downs, you could do tricep push down, you could do bicep curls. And I would, if I kept going down the list, this video would be 10 plus to 20 minutes extra long. So, but just to put it in simplest terms, it's very versatile, and I just like the single arm lat pull down on that machine specifically. And in terms of how many weight training sessions I do a week, I do 4 weight training sessions a week, which consists of upper, lower, chest, back, and triceps, and shoulders, legs, and biceps. And I put core on my upper and chest, back, and triceps day. So I do core 2 times a week. One day I'll do cable ab crunch. They have a cable machine. If you've seen my vlogs or any of my short form videos, you've seen me do that. And then also I do a seated leg raise that works more of your lower abs. And then the ab crunch works more of your like core entirely. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I need to do more research on that to give you more in-depth answer, but I split it up. I do one that's more lower focus, one that's more like full core upper focus kind of, you know what I'm saying, to make it more variety of, you know, core exercises. But anyway, second question, what's your favorite machine in the gym and why, and how many weight training sessions do you do weekly? Answered that. All right, anyway, next question is, what's a healthy amount of water to drink, and is all water created equal? This is a really interesting question. I would say a good start for a healthy amount of water to drink is cut your body weight in half and start with that in fluid ounces. I've heard that's a very good rule of thumb. But obviously, if you run like me, you're going to want to naturally add more. And if you eat more fiber, you're going to want to add more so you can actually, you know, get the stuff out of you, if you make sense. I'm not gonna go TMI with it, but you know what I'm saying, like, you can flush things out. Because if you just drink not enough water and you eat more fiber, like I'd say 45 to 60 grams a day, which can have health benefits. We've seen that over and over again. But if you're drinking like 20 fluid ounces of water and eating like 55 grams of fiber in a day, I ain't gonna lie, you're gonna have a hard time digestive wise, so beware. But I would say start with half your body weight in ounces and add more depending on your energy expenditure, like your activity, your exercise or training, and obviously fiber, making sure you're drinking enough to flush things out and you're not backed up, you know what I'm saying? But the next part of the question is all water created equal? I would say, all right, I'll put it this way. If like stressing over like where your water comes from, like, oh, is it spring water? Is it a glacier water? Is it distilled. Like if that stresses you out, just drink water. Like don't worry about it. I mean, just make sure you hydrate yourself, obviously with electrolytes added in throughout your food, and maybe electrolyte supplement if you run like me. But I like spring water, to be honest. Honestly, the main reason I drink is just because I like the taste of it more. Like obviously you can get into the intricacies of it, like, oh, it comes from this region, and it's very transparent as to where it comes from, which I appreciate that. But honestly, for the general person, I wouldn't worry about, is this distilled, is this a filtered? Like obviously if you're into that, I would look into like filtered and spring water. If you want to narrow it down, I'd probably say that's like the top two best ones in my opinion. But if you're like out and about and you're at a function and all they have is Aquafina, just drink Aquafina. Like I ain't gonna lie, I used to worry about that in the past. Like, oh, is it spring water? Like, bro, like just hydrate yourself, drink some water, get some fluids in you. Like, what I'm saying? Like, don't stress about, oh, is it spring water? Is it alkaline? Like, bro, just drink some water. Make sure you drink water and hydrate. So, water is very important. We all know that. But if you want to really get into the intricacies, I would say look for filtered water and look for spring water. And if you want to do more research into that, you can, just to make sure, okay, do I agree with this or not? But I don't want you just to go off of me, even though I would say I'm not going to tell you like to kill yourself or do nothing stupid. But however, I would research it just to make sure you agree with it. But I would say half your body weight in fluid ounces. And then I would say spring and filtered water, probably a safe bet if you really want to get like into it. But any water, as long as it's not like contaminated with any weird stuff, you should be good. But I really like spring water. Like especially Crystal Geyser, that's my favorite water, but that's just a personal preference for me. But yeah, to number 3, what's the healthy amount of water to drink, and is all water created equal? Very good question. I went into that a bit deeper when I first started, like really getting deep into nutrition, but now I don't really worry about it too much. I just get spring water when I can, and if I'm out and about and they just have whatever water they have, I'll drink it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not about to stress about it because there's already enough stuff to stress about in this world. Anyway, 4th question. The grind culture pushes the sacrifice of sleep to achieve goals. What's your take on the importance of sleep? Sleep is very important. I mean, honestly, that's one thing I really want to, I've said it over and over again, but I promise I'm going to do it, because if I'm saying it on here, I'm going to do it. I promise you. I think sleep is very important. There's a lot of neurological things that go on when you sleep, like REM sleep, deep sleep, light sleep, the whole stage cycle of it. But I mean, I'm not gonna go too deep into sleep because I ain't gonna lie, I don't know all that stuff off the top of my head. Words are hard. But I mean, just off the way you feel, just intuitively, if you get a poor night of sleep, maybe one night, like let's say you average 7 to 8 hours, and then you get like a 5-hour bomb out of nowhere, you'll probably be fine as long as you bounce back from it. But if you're getting like 5, 6, 7, then 5, 4, like it's very inconsistent. You're gonna feel the effects of it just vitality wise. But I can say you still can quote unquote grind. I don't really like the word grind because it's like, it just makes it sound like it's a short period of time. Reality, a grind is like forever. Like it's not just, oh, I'm grinding over the summer, then I give up and I fall off the wagon. Like, nah, it's like a consistent process over forever, infinity. You know what I'm saying? But I would say you can still be very productive and still get enough sleep. And I mean, I think one thing I realized too is that if you just don't prioritize your time correctly, you're going to put your sleep in the gutter because you're worrying about, oh, this going on, oh, this video just dropped, oh, this movie just dropped, and you're entertaining things and you're forgetting, oh, now I got to go to sleep. And now it's like 11 p.m. You know what I'm saying? So I just think as long as I guess all your eggs are in your baskets, I guess that's corny, but that's the first analogy I could think of. But as long as your stuff is together, you can make time to go to sleep. Because I think, especially for athletes, like for me, I run and lift, that's a high energy demand. So just making sure your body is recovering mentally and physically, I think that's very important. I think a lot of people, especially in high school, when they wait last minute, they're like, oh, now I got to go to bed at like 1 a.m. just to finish their assignment. I'm saying, but in reality, it just becomes a slippery slope, and it becomes a cycle of you waiting to the last minute and procrastinating, and then you go on to sleep super late and you keep repeating it, and your body's like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying, there's a way more scientific answer, but that's just the most, I guess, blatant answer I could give. Like, I guess the most like dumbed down answer. You know what I'm saying? But I would say sleep is very important, and I think I need to take it more seriously, and I'm going to. And I just see the effects of it when it's consistent, that like my my mind will feel better, and I'm saying my workouts will go better, and I just feel better as a human being. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say sleep is very important. But last question, how do you stay consistent? How do you build discipline? Honestly, just getting started. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I obviously mentioned before that my senior year, when I ran the 400, I missed my goal of sub 60, and that just set a fire in me. Like, okay, I'm done being mediocre. I'm about to start actually trying. You know what I'm saying? So I would say finding your why and finding your passion, something you're really passionate about, something that really riles you up, like, bro, like, okay, I really want to do this. You know what I'm saying? And just going after it and just putting one foot in front of the other, like kind of how I mentioned earlier, not being afraid to start when it's quote unquote too late, because I don't think it's ever too late to start. You know what I'm saying? Because your journey starts whenever. Like, that's just the start of it. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50. That's just the start. Like, it doesn't matter when you start. You started. So it's a good move. You know what I'm saying? So and also I think another big thing is just not negotiating with yourself, because a big thing a lot of kids my age would say would be like, oh, it's 6 a.m, like I didn't really feel like running, so I just didn't run. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, you're leaving change on the table. You know what I'm saying? If you do that over and over, because one day might turn into 2 days, and 2 days might turn into 3 days, and so on. And you might not realize it in a point of time, but once the season's over, like for track, for example, you're going to realize, oh, I could have been so much better, but all those days stacked up to where you were inconsistent outweighed the days that you were consistent. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, I guess the big three for that is identify your why. Don't negotiate with yourself, and just get started. You know what I'm saying? Because once you identify why you're doing it personally and what you're passionate about, and well, no, I don't think two is. I think two was just get started, yeah, and then three is don't negotiate with yourself. I think 2 and 3 are interchanged, but yeah, I'll say that's just how you stay consistent. Honestly, it just becomes a way of life. It's not a question of if, and, or but. It's just like, okay, it's 6 a.m, I'm gonna go run. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. It's part of your routine. It's a part of your life. It's a part of who you are. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you run, lift, cycle, if you're just getting up for work. You're going to show up for yourself, really, not for all these other people on Instagram. Just showing up for yourself and showing up for who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, second part of the question, how do you build discipline? Kind of the same thing, but I think one thing I heard recently was honoring your commitments, honoring yourself. I'm saying, obviously, there's things that are bigger than yourself. You don't want to get big headed and say, oh, I'm the only person on this earth. Like, obviously, there's other people you need to serve. But at the end of the day, a big part of it, like, you can't be naive and say, oh, like, you know, I'm selfless. Like, bro, okay, you got to do some things for yourself. Like, let's be real here. Like, obviously, just a lot of things you're going to do for, you know, your loved ones, maybe your significant other, your girlfriend, your little brother, your son, if you're a father. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, if you're not okay, I don't think you can be okay for any one of those things I just listed. So I would say honoring your commitments. I think it's one big thing that I wouldn't say I missed, but I would say that I thought I was doing, but I wasn't fully doing. And it's just honoring your commitments and honestly front loading your day and just getting things done that you want to get done and things that you need to get done. I'm saying, but I would say that consistency and discipline are kind of hand in hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they're not interchangeable, but they work off of each other. Because I feel like if you're consistent and you see the fruits of your labor and you see what happens, you're going to want to be disciplined as well. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, a little bit of a shorter episode today. I ain't gonna lie, I wanted this I'm crying to be a bit longer, but I mean, that's just all I had for the questions. So a little bit of a shorter one. I haven't done an episode this short in a minute, but next one I'll look into having a guest or something. I want the next one to be a bit longer than this, but hey, I guess it's a good listen. Like, if you're driving to work, you know, just put this on, spin it, you know what I'm saying, and then get to what you need to do. But hopefully those questions about health, like with consistency, discipline, water, what type of water to drink, grind culture and sleep, exercises, all that type of stuff. Hopefully that was very useful for y'all. But yeah, that's all I got for this week's episode. Hopefully y'all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next Wednesday.